Hello, we are team number 3 and we are gonna present General Motors in Mexico. Well, the position of the company. General Motors arrived to Mexico the 23rd of September of 1935. Nowadays, Mexico is one of the biggest production plants of GM outside the United States. It has 4 plants, 2 storage facilities, 20,000 employees, and a wide network of dealers throughout the Mexican geography. Also, it has 32 vehicle models that make up its portfolio. GM operates 3 vehicle assembly plants in Mexico, specifically in Silao, San Luis Potosí, and Ramos Arizpe, and it has its corporate offices in Mexico City. The Silao plant manufactures certain versions of the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra, while San Luis Potosí makes the Chevrolet Trax, Chevrolet Equinox, and GMC Terrain. In 2017, GM consolidated as the most admired automotive company in the country, according to the opinion of third parties, through their brands Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. General Motors Mexican plants currently assemble the Chevrolet Cruze, Blazer, Equinox, Trax, and Silverado, along with the GMC Terrain and Sierra. Unifor estimates that 1,600 vehicles worth 20 billion are exported from Mexico to Canada and the US each year. Their total sales until November of this year in retail was of 14,115 units.
So we continue with the size of the annual production in Mexico. GM Motor has the first place in vehicles production in Mexico with the 23% share in the industry and more than 800,000 cars produced back in 2019. GM Motor Factory in Ramos Arizpe, Coahuila is in charge of assembly, motors, and stamping, the Chevrolet Sonic and the Chevrolet Cruze since 1981.
In the global supply chain that General Motors has, it incorporates a large supply chain using strategies such as outsourcing to improve quality and also lower costs in the manufacturing process. They also manage their supply chain by making a direct connection between the supplier and the consumer and the distributing resources between human and capital. A distinctive factor in the supply chain is that General Motors uses logistics to apply an on-time delivery and keeps the inventory low without occurring stockouts. So this means that they can keep a small inventory to reduce costs, but also have enough to supply their customers. This factor, combined with their just-in-time manufacturing, keeps inventory low and increases efficiency and reducing order waiting times through their web-enabled supply chain portal, Supply Power, which is a page where they can order their cars and they can have them delivered. And this allows them to manage their orders and ship parts to factories and plants whenever they need it. The General Motors supply chain is a complex management process that takes place in different countries at the same time. So it is very important for suppliers to deliver their products and services on time and with the largest quality possible in order for General Motors to continue to be one of the top competitors in the automotive industry.
So the challenges that the company will face to achieve the new percentage of RVC as well as increment in salaries are according to the new percentage of the RVC, the 75% of the parts of the vehicles have to be produced in one of the 3 countries. Also, 70% of the aluminum and iron used to produce cars must be originally from USA, Canada, or Mexico. The 40% of the vehicle value must be done in factories that pays at least $16 per hour.
The implications post-COVID, the impact that COVID had on the automotive industry showed a tremendous resilience. 78% of the companies don't have enough staff to operate a complete production line. Due to COVID-19 sparked a car lawsuit, 80% of the automotive companies informed that the pandemic will have a huge impact in their incomes next year. 80% of the automotive supply chain is linked to China, who reduced car sales by 18%, disrupting the supply chain, affecting car manufacturers around the world. For General Motors, when COVID started, they had to stop their production, but later on restarted operations in their complexes in a gradual, program, and safe way. During a 6-month period, GM will produce about 1.5 million level 1 surgical masks monthly. Part of it will be designated as a donation for public hospitals where the company has operations, and the other part will be for their employees and distributors.
Well, our proposed strategies. First, we propose the online service. In times of COVID, the last thing people want is to have contact with others. So to reduce the contact between customers inside the agency, we propose the online service. How does this work? Well, first, you enter GM's official site and select the car of your interest. After filling some data, a GM driver will go directly to your house for you to try it out and decide if you want the car or not. This service is already working in other foreign agencies, so we propose to replicate this exact model and adequate it to GM's customers' necessities.
The second proposal is a regional suppliers. So to be able to reach the regional value content percentage, which changed to 75%, we propose that General Motors makes a web page for companies in the manufacturing industry within these countries so that they can submit their work and be selected to be an official supplier for General Motors. This means that they will have to access a web page and fill in some information, add some of the work, and kind of try out what they can bring to the company. And then they will be selected for the General Motors industry. So this will allow the company to identify more regional companies and also replace their overseas suppliers and reach the percentage of RVC.
So the cost reduction. To reduce the impact of the increased salaries in General Motors, we propose that they do an extensive analysis in their factory so they can identify opportunities to reduce costs in other areas, such as services, suppliers, raw materials, electricity, transport, etc. This reduction will benefit the company's financial position, reducing the impact that the raise in wages will have.
And that is all the information that we have. We hope that this was a good presentation and that it brought a lot of interest into the company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.